What's going on, everybody? It's Antonio from Akari Press. We're on the Indiegogo, $73,190. Whoo, the Santana Baby Triple Cover Pack is, of course, still ongoing. And if you want to check out the first 21 pages of Brand, the link is right here. Of course, it is also in the description. Please check that out. Read it if you're new here. Like and subscribe, all that. All right, so 50 Cent. Episode 3 of season 6. This is the final season of Power. 50 Cent directed episode 3, which is called Forgot About Dre. I watched it. It's incredible. I really thought that episode, was fantastic. It was a little over the top. A few things happened that would only happen on a television show. But he's been doing press. 50 went to Hot 97 with Ebro Darden, and he did an interview with them. And then he also stopped by right here, Power 104.5, The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. He had, now I watched both interviews. Actually both of them were good, but the one I preferred was the Breakfast Club one. They asked a lot of questions, and I really want to break down some of the things that 50 discussed while he was talking to Charlamagne and Yee and DJ Envy. One of the things they talked about was, as you can see in the title here, they talked about Wendy Williams. And, he addressed some of the issues he had with Wendy Williams, and particularly right before Power debuted for season 6, he had in New York, he had what they call Tycoon Weekend. And it was, he was showing a lot of those pictures on Instagram. A lot of people were there, a bunch of stars, comedians, sports, big sports athletes, everything. I mean, he really went all out. They out there popping bottles, and they got the fancy car. Snoop Dogg is out there. They had performances. It looked like it was a hot weekend, and anybody who was anybody got invited. Now, Wendy Williams, who has been in a little online thing back and forth with 50 Cent for like the past 3 years, she tried to slip in. She just showed up. And she knows 50 don't like her. And there's some footage of her getting escorted out. They saw her at the thing, and 50 was over there, and he was like, she knows she's not supposed to be in here. And they walked her out. She tried to show up. Because I think 50 even said that she did talk to like Snoop. But she was trying to see if somebody could finesse her in the door. It was kind of funny because she showed up. I was shocked that she showed up. She know 50 don't rock with her. And she showed up at the door. So I was surprised by that. But yeah, Wendy Williams got walked out. And the security let her know, hey, you can't come in. He talked about there was a controversy just a few days ago where he kind of threw a little shade at the rapper Megan Thee Stallion. And he said some stuff on Instagram, and then he deleted it. Megan Thee Stallion is actually dating the rapper Moneybag Yo. And he said some stuff, and then Moneybag said, he spoke up because he was like, yo, that's my chick, man, what's up? And 50 didn't realize that was his girl. He thought it was just some random chick on the Instagram. So, he makes jokes. That's all he do. So he deleted everything, and then he called Moneybag, and they squashed everything. He was just like, yo, I didn't realize I was clowning Megan. I thought it was just some chick, that was thirsty on the gram or whatever. I didn't realize I was, dissing his girl. So that's why I deleted it. Because he normally don't apologize for stuff like that, but he likes Moneybag, so he wanted to squash that. He talked about the Michael Jackson, Chris Brown and Paris Jackson situation. He touched on that, and they were asking him why that happened. Because, and here's one of the things, Charlamagne actually said something that I agreed with. Where Charlamagne was like, he didn't understand why so many people were upset at 50 just for expressing his opinion, where he said that he actually believes that Chris Brown had surpassed, Michael Jackson as far as being an entertainer. Now, Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson, she took some serious offense to that. And she said some stuff publicly. And then that's when 50 went in on her. 50 said some stuff, and he said some disparaging remarks about Michael Jackson and, you know, some of the allegations that were made in the Leaving Neverland documentary. I'm not even going to touch on it because people get real tight when you talk about it. So, but if you've done your homework, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But 50 said some stuff, and he explained why he went so hard. And one of the things he said was that when he originally just expressed his opinion, he wasn't trying to insult Michael Jackson. He said he grew up with as a Michael Jackson fan, had like a Michael Jackson poster on his wall and all that. He feels like, you know, Michael's gone. He's been gone for like a decade, and, you know, he feels like Chris Brown has taken what Michael, you know, ended and took it to the next level. And whoever the next person will, someone else is coming up and they'll see Chris Brown and they're gonna go past him. And that's not necessarily an insult. I don't see it like that, but I didn't really like, you know, because I felt like he said some stuff that tried to hurt Paris. And you know, but once he kind of explained why he went in, because he said there were a lot of Michael Jackson fans in the comment section, and they were saying, you know, really negative things, and so I guess he felt like he needed to strike back. You know, it was unfortunate. You know, like I said, I wish he had, you know, 50's got 25 million people following him on Instagram, so when he makes a comment, it goes everywhere. He has a lot of reach. So you have to choose your words wisely when you say stuff. Even if, you know, now you're looking back on it and, you know, like I said, Paris is someone that's very sensitive, and, you know, she loved her father, and, you know, she wanted to defend him. So I can't fault somebody for, you know, trying to defend their father's legacy. But, you know, like I said, 50 is always going to be 50. Another thing he talked about, okay, so like I said, he's there to promote Power. He talked about those of you that watch Power, that have been watching Power Season 6, know that the first 2 episodes of Power Season 6 had the remix of the Big Rich Town theme song. It had Trey Songz on the hook and A Boogie with the hoodie. You know, so it was, and 50 actually explained how that came about. Apparently the song, he cut his verse and A Boogie cut his verse, and then they happened to run into Trey Songz in one of the same recording studios that they were using, and 50, you know, they cool. They've done a few songs. Trey Songz and 50 have done a few songs together, and he hollered at Trey, and he was like, yo, he played the song for me. He was like, I want you to get the hook. And he actually said Trey told him not to do it because so many people love Joe's version of the theme song. And 50 was like, no, this is what it is. Now, the big thing was the reason 50, and he talked about this on the on this interview here. The reason 50 changed the theme song is because of the recently announced Power Book 2. Mary J. Blige is one of the leads on that show, and he talked about Power Book 2. So when Power Season 6 ends, we will go directly into Power Book 2, which 50 says the first episode takes place 48 hours after the series finale of Power. If you've been watching Season 6, you see what they're setting up. They're setting up Tyreek. They got this new girl out there working with him. It's pretty clear. And Tariq's got his roommate, you know, doing business with him. They out there slanging that work. So it's pretty clear that Tyreek is going to be Ghost, and this new girl is going to take over Tasha's position, and the roommate is going to be Tommy. Now, the original, and it might still be, but when the original press releases for Power Book 2 came out, it was called Power Book 2 Ghost. That was the thing, but I've noticed now when they're doing press, they're just calling it Power Book 2. But like I said, it's a long type, Power Book 2 Ghost. He didn't talk about the prequel. There's supposed to be a Power prequel. That's one of the things I was wanting them to talk about, but they may not even start shooting that till like next year or whatever. But the prequel to Power is supposed to come out, and it's supposed to have 50 Cent as a younger Kanan. So I'm not even sure how they're going to pull that off, because it's supposed to be young Kanan, and he's supposed to be mentoring a young Tommy and a young Ghost. Sean Penn is one of the stars on that show. Sean Penn is, I think he gets like a producer credit. But that was one of the things that they announced. So Sean Penn is going to be on the Kanan prequel. He's playing like a mobster guy or something. And then Mary J. Blige is going to be on Power Book 2. So, yeah, like I said, episode 1, 48 hours after the series finale of Power. So, I mean, and if you've been watching Power this season, you know it's great. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens to Tommy. I don't know if I could accept it if they just let Tommy get away with some of the things he did, especially after what happened to Angela at the end of season 5. But man, like I said, these interviews were great. I thought the Hot 97 interview and the Breakfast Club interview were both great. If you've been watching Power, if you like Power, let me know what you guys think. Get in the comments. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in AkariPress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series Brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out.